Without your support, a world without type 1 diabetes is only a dream. And it's impossible to think that life will get better for generations to come, because we know progress is uncertain. It's why we refuse to believe the struggle will eventually fade away. Relieving the constant counting, testing, and injecting is beyond our control, because life-changing discoveries are not our destiny.
Type 1 diabetes is something that our family is very familiar with. I was diagnosed in my 20s, and so have had this disease for 25 years. It's tough to have it yourself, but really tough to see a child diagnosed.
Our son Marco was diagnosed with diabetes when he was 8 years old. I mean, a child is a whole different story.
I'm very lucky to have my dad to help me with it, because most people don't. My dad really helped me because he already knew all about it and told me how to take care of it.
Someone not familiar, family not familiar with the condition, it can be extremely traumatic event to learn that your child has a chronic disease.
When I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, it was a learning process for me and my parents, but more my parents, I guess, because they were having to do all the work, really.
It makes one respect the parents of children who have diabetes. One knows what these parents are having to deal with. Diabetes was not something you took a pill for and it vanished. It's a life-threatening disease if you don't do what you're supposed to do.
I think my parents have prepared me with T1D. They're always encouraging me to be healthier, and I'm very thankful that they're so supportive and helpful with it for me.
I feel like my parents will be really scared for her going off to college, but it's something that all parents are afraid to do. So it'll just be a learning process for them. I hope that her support group there will just be helping her with her diabetes.
My parents are still pretty protective when it comes to my T1D, but they're starting to back off, kind of.
I do feel like I tend to be a little overprotective sometimes, and she feels like I'm hovering and wants me to leave her alone a little bit, but I can't help it. I worry.
We are overprotective. We have to be overprotective. We don't have that freedom anymore, and the headaches that I pretty much have all day, every day, because of I'm worried about her. What? Nothing. There's so much to worry about.
And we're not trying to be overly protective, but we just are wanting to make sure that we're making the proper steps to prevent accidents or things to happen that can easily be prevented. You know, and our worries for his health long term encompass a lot of things. And for one, you know, we're worried about potential blindness. You know, we hear stories about people losing limbs. I mean, these are serious issues, and we've got to find a cure.
I want her to be able to have children someday and experience life to the fullest. I don't want her to have to suffer from the potential side effects that this disease can eventually bring if not kept under control.
I have to be very structured. I know that I have to be a lot more responsible than normal kids. I have to take care of myself, and I'm constantly thinking about my blood sugars, my insulin, just making sure that I'm okay throughout the day.
Other kids my age just don't have to worry about that one little thing that's always going to be with you. It's all the time. You got to think about it 24/7.
And their situation is not very far at all from my subconscious. It's close to the surface, what's going on with them and what they might need and what the day might hold, which could be anything for either one of them.
You have to always watch it, and you have to always be on your toes about it, because you don't know when it's going to change or when you're going to crash or when you're going to go sky high.
It never stops. It's ongoing, day and night. There's no break. There's no there's no vacation. You're thinking about it all day, every day. You're worrying all day, all night about your child.
It's just ongoing. It never quits unless there's a cure.
It's a little bit not that fun. I don't really like shots. No. The big ones, definitely no. I hope someday that some doctors can find a cure to, so I don't have to have this anymore.
I hope for the future is that they find a cure for diabetes. People could just stop taking insulin and shots and live their life.
I want to have a cure because I will be able to do what my friends do, and I'll be able to go over to my friends' houses and have sleepovers and not giving insulin and not worry about counting my carbs at all.
A lot of people are going through the same disease and that they can make it and they just will be strong through it, but insulin isn't a cure.
I was diagnosed as an adult, so I never had to manage it as a child, as an 8-year-old boy.
It would be a lot for anybody to deal with, but to watch an 8-year-old wrap his head around what it means and what it's going to mean, he has to have to grow up a lot quicker than I would have preferred. I mean, he's still a kid. I mean, everything else is pretty much the same, but your 8-year-old shouldn't really have to worry about how many carbs are in their dinner, or going high or low.
I would take this away if I could. I tell her all the time, if I could have this myself and it be me to have type 1 diabetes so you didn't have to, I would do it in a heartbeat.
And certainly, well, if she can still be a child and really enjoy something she will never get back, is her ability to be a carefree child.
It's very hard watching Emma Grace go through this disease and wondering why, it happened to her, and asking those tough questions, why do I have it? So those questions are hard. I would totally take it from her.
Your donation can change our destiny, because life-changing discoveries are not beyond our control. Relieving the constant counting, testing, and injecting, the struggle will eventually fade away. It's why we refuse to believe progress is uncertain, because we know for generations to come, life will get better. And it's impossible to think that a world without type 1 diabetes is only a dream. Together we can turn type 1 into type none. Join us as we walk to cure T1D. Come walk with us. Join us as we walk to cure T1D.